In this video, I'll show you how to construct a frequency distribution for a data set. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put this data into the graphing calculator. Now, you don't have to use a graphing calculator to do this, but it's going to make this easier because the graphing calculator will put our data into order, and it's a lot easier to just type it in and then let the calculator sort it, then try to put it in order yourself. So in order to do this, what we're going to do is start by entering the data into list 1. Here I have my data in list 1. I typed it in, and after I entered each number, I hit the enter button. Notice that all the data is in list 1. I'm not going to put any data in any other list, even though it's in columns here. It's just because it takes up less space there on the page. So once my data is into the graphing calculator, then I can sort it. And so in order to sort it, I'm going to press the Stat button, and I look for Sort Ascending. And here we have our stat screen, and we are in the edit screen for stat. We were just using number 1 edit in order to enter the data into our list. And now we're going to use number 2, sort ascending, to put the data in order. So what I do is I choose number 2, and I can do that by pressing the down arrow to get to the 2 and pressing enter, or I can just type in the number 2, and it's nice to be able to do that, and then you just jump to whatever it is rather than having to scroll up and down all the time. So you'll see a lot of menus like this during this class. All right, so now we've chosen sort ascending, and now we need to complete sorting the data. Okay, so I chose sort ascending, and then I put L1 in there by pressing second and the number 1. And if you look at the number 1 button on your calculator, you see a little L1 above there in blue or whatever color it is on your particular calculator, the color of the second button. So it's second and the number 1 in order to type in L1 there. And when I hit enter, it just says done. So you don't really see any result, it just says it's done. All right. Okay, so now my data is in order. I went back to that edit screen, and I can see that my data is in order. So now that I have my data entered, I'm going to scroll all the way down to the end of the list just to see what the very highest number value in the list is. You can scan through the list, but sometimes it's easy to miss a number when they're not sorted. So this way we know that we have the correct number. And in this case, that's 86. Once I know the highest data value, then that tells me how far I need to go with the classes. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to add the rest of my classes, and then I'll figure out what my frequencies are. So I have the first class is 6 to 19. I've already typed that in. And now I'm going to continue this. Now the next value is going to be 20 because it's the next number after 19, so that's pretty straightforward. And at this point I'm going to figure out what the class width is. And the class width is the consecutive lower class limits. We subtract them and we find that separation. So in this case I do 20 minus 6, and that's 14. So I will add 14 to the 19 in order to get 33, and that's my next upper class limit. So there's the same separation between lower class limits as there is between upper class limits. And then when I go to the next class, now it's 34, 2, and again I'm going to add 14 now to the 33, and so that gives me what, 47. And I still haven't passed 86, so I keep going. And let's see, we've got 48 to 61. and then 62 to 75. And we can still keep going, so it's 76 to 90. Now we've got 86, which is our highest value in that class, and so I'm done with that. All right, so I've got my classes, and now I want to find my frequencies. So I can do that. And what I'll do is I look in the graphing calculator now. So I can count how many values there are in the first class, which is 6 to 19. And we have the 6, the 13, and the 15. So that's 3 values in that group. Now my next group is, let's see, 20 to 33. So I'm looking back to my computer here now, since I don't have the whole list on the screen here. All right, so we've got 26, 31, 31, and 33. So that's 4 values. And then my next group is 34 to 47. So I have 37, 42, 42, 42, 42, 43, 44, 45 twice, and 46 twice. All right, and we only wanted to go up to 47. So let's see, how many would that be? And that's 11, it looks like. Hopefully that's right. All right. Okay. And next group is 48 through 61. And so I'm going to continue on. I'm going to go ahead and do that on my own, and I'll come right back to you. Okay, so I finished filling in my frequencies, looking at the sorted data, and I actually made a mistake, and I didn't want to correct myself and just fix it. It was the very last value. So somehow, and I did this 2 or 3 times in a row, and I knew that I had made a mistake. So first of all, how did I know I made a mistake? I added up the frequencies. I know that there are 40 data values, and when I added up my frequencies, I only got 39, so I knew that there was one missing. So I went back through the list a couple of times, and finally I figured out that the problem was with the last class. So I kept looking at the 78 and thinking it was supposed to be included in the previous class, but I didn't think that when I was counting that class either. So this is not foolproof. If you basically make 2 mistakes, then you may not catch that. But because I just made that one mistake, I can go ahead and fix that. There's 3 values in that class. It's 78, 84, and 86. And so now I have my frequency distribution. So I have all of my frequencies over here that correspond to the classes that I have here. And so this lets me know that this data set starts low, gets high in the middle, and then starts getting lower again. So this would be roughly symmetric if we were talking about the distribution of the data, but that might be ahead for you. So that's the end of that video.